Hey guys, today I want to talk about the imagination and why it is a super potent and powerful manifestation tool that we all have access to right now, and we can and should be using to create the things that we want and desire in our lives and to attract the opportunities to build the life that we want for ourselves going forward, and why this is supported by the astrology and why this is supported by the Age of Aquarius energetics that we are transitioning into now. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. My name is Aubrey and this is my astrological outlook of the day. There are three main astrology themes that I want to talk about today for my report, and these are: number one, Venus takes the lead; number two, the sun and moon in aspect to Neptune; and number three, the sun opposing Pluto. And also, like I said, the overall theme for the day, actually for the whole year and the whole age, this whole paradigm that we're moving into, the power of imagination and why we should be using it and what it's doing for us, what it can do for us now. So, number one, let's get into the report. Venus takes the lead. Today, Venus moves ahead. She moves out of conjunction with Mars. Venus is currently at 22 degrees of Leo. That Sabian symbol is a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission. And if you've been following along this week in what's been going on with the energetics, we know that Venus is setting out on a mission to take down Pluto, and Mars is right behind her, and he will be joining her for that final takedown in March of 2022. But for now, she's starting off on a mission. Yesterday it was talking about a woman awaiting a sailboat, and today we have Venus at 22 degrees of Leo, moving ahead, moving out in front of all of the other planets. Venus is now the first planet in the whole line of planets. She's leading, like I said, she's the leader, she's leading the charge, and she is discharging a carrier pigeon fulfilling a mission. And it's funny because, again, this is the air element. I was talking in my report yesterday, if you watched it, about how this process is really what is unlocking the code to the Age of Aquarius paradigm vibrations and how things are going to be operating going forward with the reintegration of the divine feminine and the divine masculine that was indicated through the conjunction of Venus and Mars yesterday, and will be indicated as being complete in March when Venus and Mars come back together at the same degree as Pluto. But it's interesting that it's a carrier pigeon because, again, like I said, we're talking about the air element. This is all about the Age of Aquarius, and it's very much to do with our ideas and just the air element in and of itself. And it's speaking about a trip by the air, and that is how she's taking this mission. So it's very emblematic of this Age of Aquarius theme that we're moving into. And for all of you Venus ruled people out there, Taurus and Libra ascendants, Taurus and Libra strong, or your moon in Taurus or Libra, now that your planet Venus is in front of all the other planets, your energy is very supported right now, and you guys should be having some good times, and these energetics are very supportive of whatever you're doing, whatever you're pursuing, whatever journey or mission you're going on personally right now. All of you Venus dominant people, your planet is in the lead, supported by all the other planets. So things should start going better for you guys right now going forward. Next, I want to talk about, another thing that I need to say before I start talking about this whole imagination theme is that Mars is still in conjunction with Venus today. Mars is actually at 21 degrees of Leo, an exact trine to the Aries point as Venus embarks on her mission through the air. The Aries point energetic, if you've been following my reports, this energetic is like the ultimate in the liberation, break the chains, freedom from all that restrains us energetic. And Mars at this degree is really like the warrior for truth and liberation. And this is the energetic that he is activating as Venus sets out on her mission. And again, he will be rejoining her next spring. But for now, this tells us that the process of supporting Venus as she goes on this journey is very much going to be about the masculine archetype standing in its power and helping to liberate humanity and our on our psyche, on the level of our psyche, helping us to really stand in our own power and be able to throw off things that are hindering our creative potential and our connection to our true internal value. The themes of Venus and what she is recovering and taking back from the underworld through this process that she's going through now. So that is a very positive indication for how this journey is going to go. She's got a lot of very active energy from Mars looking to liberate her at really any costs at this point. So that is a good sign for Venus. And we know that ultimately it turns out good anyways. It's just this journey, this difficult journey that we are all collectively taking right now until we get to that point. But it is bringing us into a much more unified, strong, and united internal energy that really recognizes our personal value, and therefore it has this like crazy ripple effect in the external world and the things that we create and we attract and we magnetize into our lives. But today, what I really want to talk about in the context of these energetics, especially considering that we also have the sun and the moon, like I said, both in aspect to Neptune today, is why the imagination is a very potent manifestation tool right now. And we need to talk about it and how powerful it is moving into the Age of Aquarius, where ideas really do create reality. And this makes sense because the Age of Aquarius is all about ideas, it's all about thoughts, frequency, knowledge, and self-realization. But there is this ongoing theme of both imagination and opportunity spoken about through the Sabian symbols. And this is at both the new moon in Aries this past year, and the new moon in Aries, whatever is going on at the new moon in Aries is like the underlying theme, the underlying tone, what's going to be growing and unfolding throughout the entire course of the year. And there was this theme about imagination and opportunity then, and really it hasn't stopped as we progressed through this year by the positioning of the nodes. The north node for a very, very long point in time was at 11 degrees of Gemini. Newly opened lands offer the pioneer new opportunities for experience. And now we have the south node discharging 10 degrees of Sagittarius, the golden-haired goddess of opportunity. But for the new moon in Aries, Venus was in square to Pluto exactly in the degree that she was discharging the Sabian symbols. And for those of you who don't know, when I look at astrology, I read the Sabian symbols. They are the energetic frequencies described in picture forms so that we can just get a kind of better understanding about the underlying nature of this particular energetic, and it just gives more information to interpreting what really is going on with the planets at any given point in time. And so the Sabian symbol for Venus at the new moon in Aries was through imagination, lost opportunities are regained. And this theme of imagination and the power that imagination has to bring opportunities back to us is something that's being indicated this year. It is a theme that is indicated generally in the overall energetics represented by the Age of Aquarius. And I just think that we really need to start thinking about it and talking about it and putting it into practice because it's so indicated. The power of imagination is really, it's kind of the way I see it, like the first new superpower. And it's not new because this information has been known for, a long period of time. People have been writing about it for a while, but it's going to be gaining strength, and also it's going to be affecting like a broader range of people. It's going to become more accessible to the overall whole, the humanity, the collective. The Age of Aquarius is going to be utilizing this more, whereas in the past it was just very like secret and deeply held knowledge that few limited people had access to or really cared to learn about or to understand. But now we're moving into the age of self-knowledge and the age of self-empowerment, and I think that one of the first like new abilities that we are all going to start being able to tap into and have access to is this power to manifest through the creative intention and the way that our imagination interacts with this reality and can actually manifest and bring things to us in our experience, whether for good or bad. That's something that we need to keep in mind. It's getting much stronger now as we kick off this age. And also telepathy is another one that I have been watching increase like rapidly, and I think is going to become a very commonly used sense moving forward as we move through this next 2,000-year cycle. But right now that Venus is in front of all the planets, and she's the leader, this is really where our opportunities are going to stem from. Through imagination, new or lost opportunities are regained. The position of Venus at the beginning of this Aries cycle, and now she is leading the charge, and this energetic, this idea is very relevant, and this is going to be, I think, how we create in this paradigm, and also through releasing the past right now as well. That's another big thing with the nodes transiting Gemini and Sagittarius. We've all been being asked to let go of our past belief systems and embrace a new reality, a new way of believing, interacting with, and understanding the nature of our reality. And right now, the South Node is at the golden-haired goddess of opportunity. So it's saying, like, if we release our past beliefs, new opportunities can be regained through the power of our imagination. Venus out in front right now. So I feel like this is very powerful. And the way I understand it, the way that it works, it's like when you're imagining what you want, you actually have to imagine it to the point that you feel it happening. You can feel it physically. You imagine the outcome. You imagine as if it's happening in the present and how you would feel if that was the current state now. What people would be saying to you if you had what you wish that you had now. What would you be doing with your time? What would you be doing with your money? Really thinking about it and just imagining it, envisioning it, and feeling it in every ounce of your being as if it were real, and then just allowing it to slip off and going about your life. And that creative potential, that creative power is something that we really need to reconsider right now, and it's something that we all have the ability to do. And because of the fact that this is the age of Aquarius, it's the age of ideas, it's all about our mental capacity and frequencies and brain waves and connection and network connections and these like neuron firings and all of that. It's like so cerebral, and it's speaking about this ability. And now, like I said, aside from the fact that Venus is in front today and this ability, this imaginative creative power to help us regain what we may have felt we lost, or to rebuild our lives in a way that maybe we thought that we had lost our opportunity, we can do that through the imagination. And it's like I said, with the sun is in a trine. The sun is at 23 degrees of Cancer today. 23 degrees of Cancer, and the Neptune retrograding is at 24 degrees of Pisces. So we have the sun in almost an exact trine to Neptune today. And I mean, all this week, the exact activation will be tomorrow, and then we'll be moving out of the trine, but it will still be a trine for the few days after that. So really all week, the sun and Neptune together, this is like extreme powers of imagination and the ability to actually like tangibly experience these imaginations and these feelings. And really it is the power to manifest. The sun makes everything grow, and Neptune is our ability to connect to the spiritual plane, and it's daydreaming, it's imagination. And so we are in a week right now, especially with Venus moving in front today with where she was, and she's going, and we know she's going on this mission, this quest through the air to meet Pluto, to take back her personal power, her self-worth, her self-love, her internal value, right? And she was in square to Pluto when she was indicating this lost opportunities regained through the imagination. So with the sun in a trine to Neptune today, this energy is enhanced like tenfold. And we also have the moon in Virgo making a trine to Uranus. So expect the unexpected today. Shocks and surprises, definitely, but it's a trine, so they could be more gentle, more positive, and moving us in the right direction with things. But the moon is also opposing Neptune today. And that, again, is reflecting and shining a light on this imagination. It's super, super enhanced imagination ability. So with the sun and the moon both in aspect to Neptune retrograde right now. Today is a really good day to meditate, daydream, pray, and imagine, truly imagine what you want to grow in your life. And the flip side of this, you guys, is we have to be very, 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 very careful with the negative manifestation potentials of this ability. It works the same way. We really, 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 really want to be careful how we're speaking to ourselves and what our internal dialogue is, and make sure that we are not creating, thinking, speaking to ourselves, and subconsciously imagining into existence things that we're afraid of and things that we don't want, because this superpower goes both ways. While we can literally create anything that we want right now, any opportunities, anything that we want to create and build and we desire to have in our lives, if it's authentic, that's another thing. It has to be authentic because of just Uranus and Venus's sign. We know that, things that are out of authenticity are not going to work moving forward into the age of Aquarius. Venus and Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius. But we really need to be careful, because just as strong as ability we have to create and manifest the world and the life that we want through our imagination with these energetics activated, we also, by focusing on the wrong things, can bring those things into existence as well. So it's like we really we need to be more mature about how we handle our mind and our thoughts as we move forward. And that's why we are going through these immense changes and all these crises and stuff, because in this hero's journey, because we really need to master our minds so that we can be mature about how we're using these abilities, and so that we're not subconsciously creating like hell on earth by being caught in our fears all the time and our insecurities and what we don't want, and focusing on that, and therefore manifesting and creating that through that same power of the imagination. But when we use it in the right way, and when we really, really are in charge of our thoughts and put our intention behind where it needs to be, and really focus on the feeling, the ultimate feeling that we will get through whatever we're imagining, whatever we want to happen. This is where, like I've said throughout this report, we have a huge leg up right now in terms, this week particularly, in terms of our ability to create the future direction that we're going and that we want to go, and that make it in the way that we want to make it. And this is also indicated through Saturn, the builder, retrograde, asking us to reform the foundations of things in our life right now so that we can build them better in a more authentic way in Aquarius, going forward in a trine to that south node, the golden haired goddess of opportunity, letting go of our old beliefs, taking a risk with the north node at a plane, performing a nosedive now, taking a risk, really having faith in ourselves and our abilities, having the courage to do something that's difficult and scary, but we know that we can do. We have regained confidence and belief in ourselves now, and are feeling more whole and integrated after this Venus and Mars conjunction that we've just had, and that will just continue to grow over the next year and a half, despite the challenging circumstances that we might face. But the most important thing is that we stay out of our fear, and we stay out of negative self-talk, the way that our internal dialogue, making sure that it is positive and contributing to this imaginative positive process that we all have the ability to utilize right now. And this is what will help us move in the direction that we want to go, and will play a continuing role in the furthering of this liberation and this return to authenticity that we're going through. But like I said, it's important that these things are in alignment with our authenticity, and that's why we're going through all these challenges right now that are really shaking us up and hardening our resiliency and ability to be authentic and to navigate the world around us. And it's causing us to throw a lot of these things off of us right now with these Aries point activations. Let's see. The last thing that I want to talk about today is that we have the sun coming into an opposition with Pluto, and this is going to be happening in a couple of days later this week. And we're going to see the power struggles that are resulting now from these new awarenesses that we've been gaining, and the inner confidence from this conjunction this week, and the strength and the personal creative power that we have through this process that we're going through, and these changes and these new awarenesses that are causing us to release our past beliefs. And we're utilizing the creative power of our manifestation of our imagination consciously now. And what does this do to the power dynamics that have been at play in our lives up until this point? We're going to find out this week as this aspect grows nearer and we see what type of power struggles develop either internally within ourselves or externally within various circumstances in our lives. These really are resulting from this metamorphosis that we are all going through right now as a result of all of these changes that are happening in relationships and partnerships, with the Uranus T-squares that we've had going on, the newfound confidence and strength and internal resiliency that we're coming into internal wholeness and recognition of our true value with this Venus-Mars conjunction. Also, with all of this Mercury aspecting Jupiter, we still have Mercury in a trine with Jupiter today, and Mercury is actually at the degree an automobile is wrecked by a train. And so Jupiter expands things, and so this destroys illusions yet again today, and wrecks and destructions extremely in terms of ideas that are no longer relevant. Clarity and truth that destroys or demolishes illusion. And it also could be like a verbal train wreck somehow. I'm not really taking this one too literally, although Mercury also does rule short distance travel. So you might want to be careful on the road today as well. We may see some accidents, but generally I'm thinking more in terms of like a verbal train wreck, or, just really something happening that just really once and for all demolishes whatever illusion we've been operating under in our individual lives or on some type of collective level. So all of this going on today, but ultimately, like I said, I really feel like right now in this Cancer cycle, and we are in the new moon cycle too, and so whatever we are putting intention into right now is going to be growing, and Venus says she wants it to be our imagination. That's where our opportunities come from. And Venus is leading right now, and she is in charge. So we really should all be really kind of experimenting and learning about and trying to utilize these powers of our imagination to create the experiences that we desire, Venus, in our lives, and to bring more peace, love, harmony, balance into our lives, and to help us regain any opportunities that we feel like we may have missed out on up until this point. Nothing is lost. We are starting it's a whole new world now, and pretty much everything up until this point we can essentially let go of, and we really all have the opportunity right now to recreate ourselves and to recreate our lives based on who we truly are and what we came here to be. So that's my report for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think they would enjoy something like this as well. Leave me comments. I absolutely love you guys' comments. It helps me so much when I can get, some information, some feedback from you about how these activations are affecting you. It's just more data, and your girl loves the data, so keep it coming. Like my Facebook page if you're on Facebook, and tune back in tomorrow, you guys, for my astrological outlook of the day. Bye!